welcome back to Higher Talks, number 14. Unbelievable, what do you know? Okay, so let's review a little bit what we spoke about. The last couple of times we went into how to accept criticism, how to give criticism, how to criticize ourselves, and then we went into stress, how to redefine it, how to think about it in a different way, understand that all the things that we do come along with a package. And yes, having children comes along with a lot of things that we have to deal with. And when we call it stress, we just want to get rid of it. And that's not the point. We spoke about the guy who leaves yeshiva. He says, that yeshiva stresses me out, so I'm getting rid of everything. But then you realize there's so much good in there. And then you just come to a point where it's like, okay, there are some people that are hard to live with in this life, and it's part of the package. It's part of the package. So at that point, when we realize these things, when we realize, hey, I am a person in this world, and there's a lot of things I will have to deal with, and there are a lot of things that I am dealing with. We learn to accept. We learn to accept everything that goes on around us, and which leads us. That acceptance leads us to noticing that there's somebody in control. There's a big plan above us, and it's not really up to us to meddle in those plans. So I'll tell you what happened to me a couple of weeks ago. It's just a funny anecdote. I was getting dressed before Shabbos, and I found that I took a pants out of the closet, and I realized that the button was missing. The button on top of the pants was missing. So I told myself, I'm going to choose my own destiny now. I'm going to return this pants, and I'm going to take out another one that does have a button. Okay, don't question why I have pants without buttons, but it's fine. That's the fact. And so I go and I put on this other one, and I come out all proud, and I tell my wife, I chose my own destiny. I'm going to wear pants with a button on. What ends up happening, a few hours later, I'm cutting up the challah, and the knife slipped. The top of the challah was burnt, and it just slipped straight into my finger, and I get this cut. So I wash it off, put a Band-Aid on, and it's numb and it's hurting. And then another hour goes by, and I'm about to go to sleep, and I want to unbutton my pants, and since my thumb is cut, I have to do it with my other hand, and now that's an entire new type of problem that I have to deal with. And I'm like, how do you unbutton with your right hand? I know how to do it with my left hand so easily, but how do I do it with my right hand? And my wife turns to me and says, so, you chose your own destiny. You see what it brought to you? And I laughed, because in some essence there was truth to it. It was like, connect these two stories and realize, hey, there's something there. So I don't think when we start accepting the world, when we start accepting that there are certain individuals and there are certain situations that are tough, they're really hard to deal with, but this is exactly how Hashem wanted it. We start accepting it. So can we choose our own destiny? Should we choose our own destiny? Or should we allow to be led by Hashem? And this is a very big question, because we start going into the question of hishtadlut versus reliance. Okay, bitachon versus hishtadlut. And it's a very big question. It's a very big area of doubt, of what should I choose? I don't know. And how about we go back and explain doubt, and then we'll come back to this. So I have a friend who makes songs, and one of his songs was how do you know if it's your neshama calling out to you or not? If it's the Yetzer Tov or the Yetzer Hara, if it's the good inclination, like the good side of you, or the dark side of you. How do you know what your heart is telling you? So when you start listening, I am good, and you hear that I'm good, I'm strong, I could do this, I can be better. That's definitely from the good side. But when you hear you can't, you shouldn't, and it's too hard, all those are from the dark side. And we have to learn to push ourselves into the good side. So we fall into doubt a lot of times, wondering, can I go about doing something, or should I go about doing something? Is it even possible for me to do it? I'm going through so much, why should I add this pressure into my life? And whatever excuses we give ourselves, and we keep ourselves back from doing whatever we want to do. Doubt also has another component to it, where we doubt others as well. We doubt people's intentions. We doubt that people will show up. Yeah, like we have this doubt in ourselves, and to go back to the core of doubt is uncertainty. We don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going to be. That's why I could doubt things, and not just that. Sometimes we feel like we do know. We feel like I've had experience in the past. That's why I doubt that this and this will happen in the future. I doubt means I'm not sure. It might happen, but I have a strong feeling pulling me the other direction. And we doubt ourselves too many times, and we don't even realize that if there wouldn't be any doubt, we would just go about doing everything we think about. If we think about doing something, if there is no doubt entering the heart, there will be nothing holding us back from going about achieving it. We will go and do it. And sometimes it's good that we just go about doing things, but sometimes it could be harmful if we don't have doubt in ourselves, if we don't think critically about what could be the results of my actions. So we need to have doubt on one hand, but on the other hand, we can't have too much of it. So it goes back to the same idea, hishtadlut versus emunah. Should I trust and believe this is what came into my mind, this is how I feel right now, so I should go about doing it? Or should I say, no, this is not meant to be, maybe not, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, I'm capable of doing something else, I shouldn't be doing this now, I could do it later. So you have all of these conversations, which is, excuse me, which is the doubt talking. And we doubt ourselves way too much, and we should rely more on Hashem and accept his direction. So, for example, if there's somebody that is very talented in singing, they've since they're kids, they could see themselves just belting off in the shower, on their bikes, wherever they are. They're always child soloists, and as they grow up, they continue singing. They start composing and writing, and he's 22 and he needs a job, and he knows that he's good at singing, but you got to find a job. All of his friends are getting, and he has financial obligations. So he goes and he gets himself just a random job. But after a couple of years, he says, it's not for me. And he says, I'm going to go out and become a singer full time. And this goes on for 2-3 years. He's trying. He's 28 by now, and he sees no success whatsoever. But every time he sings to himself, every time he sings to other people around him, they all compliment him, and they all tell him, this is honestly the best song I've ever heard. This is honestly the best voice I've ever heard. And he looks around, he's like, if everybody says this, and not just that, I'm not lying to myself, I'm honest. This is the fact that I have a very good voice. This is a fact that I am a very good lyricist, and so why am I not seeing success? So the question is, should I go and pursue this for another 5 years and go broke and feel terrible with myself until that finally, that one day I get that breakthrough where I get a call and somebody finds me out, and then it all blows up? Or do I say, I don't know, I've given it my all? And when is that time to say, I've given it my all, and when is it time to say, no, I still have work to do, I still haven't tried hard enough? And so for that conversation, we have to go into the Chayvus Alvavas. We want to learn how to accept God's will in this world, because we understand there are so many things out of our control, and there's no way we could ever control everything, so why should we even try to control anything? So we have to go into the Chayvus Alvavas over here and say, listen, there is some control that a person has to take on their life, and there's some control that we have to rely on Hashem. And each person, based on how much they know themselves, how well they know themselves, they will know exactly how much hishtadlut to apply, how much emunah to apply. So, for example, the Chayvus Alvavas goes and says, if somebody wants to live with bitachon and Hashem, he wants to trust and rely on Hashem in every situation, he's going to go through a couple of steps. Anybody who trusts in anything technically learns in a couple of steps. First, you have to understand the concept of trust. And what is that? When a baby nurses from the mother, that that knowledge that I will be getting my milk from this location, from this area, and the perfect amount that I need, the baby gains trust in the source of the milk. But as the baby, his perception grows, he realizes, hey, you know, it's not the source of the milk, it's actually my mother. My mother is the one giving it to me. Every time I'm hungry, it's my mother who comes and picks me up. It's her care for me that provides. And that trust goes from the source of the milk to the mother who is coming here with care and love and provide and with provisions, providing everything I need. And the trust grows. I start trusting. The baby starts trusting the mother. And eventually, as the baby grows older and turns into a little child, realizes, wait a second, my father is the strongest person around. Because I saw my mother cry, and when my father came in, my father gave her a hug and soothed her and calmed her down, and my mother's happy now. And the kid is like, when my mother was sad, I wasn't getting my food. Nobody was taking care of me. My trust, the only one I could trust, was gone. And now that I saw my father coming in and embracing my mother, giving her that encouragement, and then my mother goes and says, you know, now I'm back on my feet, let me go feed my baby. The child realizes that the entire trust that he has in his mother hangs on the support of the father. So the kid says, you know what, I'm moving my trust up another level. I'm going to trust my father from now on. And so on, once he realizes that the father only has it because when he doesn't have money, he becomes all lost and sad. And when the father is not is not doing well health-wise, the mother is not going to have that support. That's when the kid says, I have to protect myself. And he says, it's the money. It's hard work. And the kid starts trusting in hard work. As a teenager, you start becoming self-reliant, dependent, and we start trusting ourselves. And but then we see, wait a second, if my employer or my client doesn't pay me, my customer doesn't pay, then I don't have any money. So I can't trust money or hard work. I have to trust the income. I have to trust those people. And so he looks for people to trust. He starts looking around. Where can I find a person? Where can I find a person that could provide for me and be there for me? So that way, and what places can I go that I know for a fact that people will need me? So that way, their money could come to me. So I trust in my customers to keep me alive. But I'm trusting in my invention or my service, so that because I know that people need it. So now I could build my trust on the backs of the world. And then you realize that it doesn't really have to do with that, because each one of these people has their own issues that they have to deal with, their own struggles and their own trust issues that they have to work on, and you get to a place where it's like everybody needs to have Hashem, everybody needs to have Him. That's step one of trust. You get the concept of trust from earth, and then you say, I'm going to apply it to heaven. I'm going to apply it to Hashem. And now is where hishtadlut and emunah come in, these two things. Okay, when a person starts believing in Hashem, the first step is going to be, anything that's out of my control is up to Him. Anything that's out of my control, which means how much money I'm going to make. No, actually, if it's going to rain this week, is it going to rain tomorrow or not? It's out of my control. So I'm like, you know what, Hashem, it's up to Him. It's up to Him, and that's and that's my true belief. I walk around. This is what I tell. This is what I preach. I'm connected to Hashem. I'm connected to God. I know that if it's out of my control, then there's nothing I could do about it. He must be taking care of it. And that's a very surface level belief, but it's nonetheless it's something. But as he starts growing, so such a person who believes in Hashem in this area feels like everything that is in his control is something that he has to control. It means that he has to do it. He has to do hishtadlut in that area, because anything that's out of my control, like rain, that's not up to me. I don't have to do anything for it to rain, because it's all up to Him. It's all up to God. But everything else, if it's about my money, if it's about my relationships, if it's about anything in the world, that's up to me. And then he says, wait a second, what if somebody breaks into my house? Technically, I could go and I could I could fight back, but that guy is stronger and he has weapons. I don't know how to do this. So at that point, he's like, technically, I could do this with my hands, but this is not something I want to do. This is not something I really wanna get myself involved with, because the danger, the risk is so much. So he tells Hashem, listen, it's up to you. I'm not getting involved over here. So he says, he adds onto the rain, onto the things that are out of control. He says, wait a second, there are more things that are out of my control. There are more things that I feel like I can't do, and he just relinquishes that control to Hashem. So now, such a person who has such belief in Hashem requires a smaller amount of hishtadlut. He says, I will control everything that is in my power and everything that is in my will to control. Okay? So now, since you believe this amount, you have to do that amount of hishtadlut. And that's where many people find themselves. They're like, if I could control my financial income, that means I'm going to go get myself a job. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get up on time and do the right thing. Then I'm doing everything that I can. And that's the hishtadlut that's required of this person, according to the emunah that he has. But once he realizes that, wait a second, I'm putting in the hard work. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. Everything that I feel like should be in my control, and I'm not seeing any success. I'm doing exactly what the other person is doing, but they're a millionaire, and I'm scratching pennies together. And at that point, we grow our perception in Hashem. We say, wait a second, I need to believe, I need to trust in Him, even in times where I technically could have control, which is like when somebody comes in, like a thief comes in at night with weapons. Technically, it's in your control, but you choose to give it over to Hashem. When it comes to your success, you say, you know what, Hashem, I'm giving it over to you as well. And this is how we slowly start adding more and more to the emunah, until we come to a place where we're like, you know what, Hashem, everything about my life, no matter where I go, no matter where I'm taken, no matter which person confronts me, no matter what conversations I have or thoughts I have or weaknesses or strengths, no matter if there's a fire burning through my village, I trust and I believe in Hashem that this is exactly what He wants, and He wants me to be in this exact location at this exact moment. And what hishtadlut is left for such a person? If emunah is taking up everything in his life and he's relinquishing all control to Hashem, then what hishtadlut is left for him? What does he have to do? What is his work on this world? The work on this world for such a person is continuing believing. Continue believing. And that is going to have tests every single day. Tests that you've never thought of. And challenges that you've never dreamt of having to go through, and struggles that are so heavy. And you get tested and challenged to see, is your belief true? Or if your belief is true, then Hashem will make sure that you are provided for, you have money, your family and obligations are all taken care of. People love you, and you are loved by everyone, and you love everything. If Hashem says you really, really want the prize, you really want to live in this level where emunah means that Hashem will take care of me and everything will go good in my life, then Hashem will make things happen in your life that are going to question your resolve. They're going to shatter your big foundation that you're standing on. They're going to make you shake. They're going to make you tremble. But you have to stand firm with your belief. You have to say, I see you, Hashem. I see you. I see you. And guess what? It's only a matter of time that the world will see that you are a person of true intent, true integrity, a person who is attached to Hashem 100%, completely. You sit and you learn. You spend your time wisely. You're doing everything in order for your coming world, and you built yourself up to a place where I want to be one with the person I trust, and the person I trust is Hashem, the one I love. He is everything to me. Hashem is going to test, and He's going to give us challenges, and we have to go through it. Avraham Avinu went through these 10 huge psychological and physical, spiritual tests and experiences that ultimately brought him to Hashem Berachas Avraham Bakoil. Hashem benched Avraham Bakoil. He gave him everything, and that is the level of hishtadlut that person has to do. You have to win the tests. You have to say, yes, I'm sticking to go with Hashem. I know financial is going to be hard, and I'm going to have a question: should I go and get a job now? Should I go and continue? Should I go and get my job and say, listen, this is what Hashem wants, or should I go and stick to my singing career and say, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this? How long should I fight? How hard should I go? And based on your level of emunah, based on how you know yourself, that's how you should choose. That's how you should make your next decision. If you really like thinking, should I get a job or should I stick to my talent? Check out your emunah. Check out, where do I hold? What type of life do I really want to live? Do I want to be one with Hashem, or am I okay with my emunah level right now, where I'm still getting upset and angry when I'm in traffic? Or if you're better and you say, you know what, when I'm in traffic I'm calm, but when I see my credit card bills piling up, that's when I start losing a little faith. And you know what? If that's my level of emunah, then I have to choose accordingly, and that is putting in hishtadlut so that I don't have to deal with the stress, because I still accepted this problem onto myself. I have to do, since I accepted a physical problem onto myself, I have to do something physical to counteract it. And it's a very deep conversation. Although I said it in a very extended way, I didn't jump from thing to thing. But if you listen closely, it's a very core principle, and I hope this could guide you in a proper direction. Anyhow, my name is Dovi Lemmer. I appreciate it so much that you're here. I appreciate it so much that I could speak, and knowing that someone's on the other side listening, no matter what time in history, if this is 100 years from now and you watch this, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great life. I hope you reach your decisions and get rid of doubt as much as you can, and really get to know yourself, get to know your level of emunah, and you'll understand your level of hishtadlut. Be well, watch my videos, read my books, and you can reach me at LemmerHypno@gmail.com. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Talk to you. Thank you.